What's up, everybody? This is Tom Taylor with South China Morning Post, SCMP MMA, joined today by one of the best submission grapplers to ever do it, Marcus Buchecha Almeida. Marcus, it's great to be chatting with you again, man. How's everything going?
Everything going great. Camp is going great, so really excited. Can't wait to fight.
Awesome, man. Well, as you suggested, you have a big fight coming up. You're fighting Reug Reug on April 22nd in Singapore at One Reloaded. This is a really interesting matchup and one that fans are really excited for. You know, it was supposed to happen last year. It's finally happening. What are your thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, like you said, it's supposed to happen last year. It would be my MMA debut, but I think he got hurt. Something happened. I don't know exactly what happened, but anyway, 1 year later, we fighting. So it was good because then I kept fighting. I didn't have to hold or wait one more year to fight him. So in the meantime, I fought two other guys, really experienced guys too. So I got more experience. So it's gonna be interesting because the other two guys that I fought were strikers. So that's gonna be the first time I'm fighting like a grappler. So,
right. Yeah. Yeah. As you said, he's a grappler too. You come from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which we know is very effective in MMA. He comes from Senegalese wrestling, which we just haven't seen that many guys come over from that sport into MMA. So based on what you've seen, how do you think Senegalese wrestling will translate into MMA? How does it compare to Jiu-Jitsu?
I think it's pretty much we know what he wants, right? The idea of the Senegal wrestler is like to take your opponent down, but you are allowed to get some strikings to do that. So I think it's pretty much I think what he is going to try to do, but I'm not the kind of guy that's going to be afraid to be on the back of the mat. So it's going to be interesting to see what's the strategy you're going to try to use, how is the strategy I'm going to try to use for this fight, and let's see. It's going to be fun.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Do you think he has enough confidence in his wrestling to take you down? I mean, I wouldn't take you down if I was him. Do you think he'll be looking for the takedown?
Being honest, I don't know, but at the end of the day, grapplers, when you see ourselves in a bad spot, that's the instinct, right? We try to grapple, we try to get close. So if that happens, it's gonna be a fight for comfortable for both of us, right? So then we're gonna see like who's gonna be like doing better on the ground or on the grapple style, him or me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good, can be interesting. I think it's not gonna be just about the grappling, but the setup to get there. What's gonna happen before we start grappling.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting is a great way to describe this matchup, because you've both accomplished a lot in the sports you came from, but you're both fairly new to MMA. And I think a lot of people sort of expect if the grappling cancels out, this could come down to the striking. So do you maybe look at this as a good opportunity to show off what you've been learning in the striking department?
Yeah, being honest, like if I see the opening, if I say I can use my strategy, I will. So to be hanging there against a heavyweight, it's not a good idea. You can watch all the one championships heavyweight fights. Most of them finish off first round, either submission or either like knockout. So it's not a good idea to be like hanging there and waiting for like a big swing. It can finish the fight. Any like swing of a heavyweight can decide the fight. So of course I'll be doing my best. He's doing his best, and no mistakes allowed on that one. In that division with that small glove, you can. So it's not one thing that I'm thinking about to be there, like trying to show off and trying to, what I mean, impress anyone. So I'm gonna try to do my game plan, and that's it.
Right. Well said. You big boys have to be very careful in there, more careful than anybody else, because it can all change in an instant. Speaking of the striking, though, you guys, as I said, are both new to this side of the game. I'm not an expert per se, but based on what I've seen from him, he's very aggressive, very raw. You've looked a little bit more polished, a little bit more measured. I mean, how do you think you stack up with him in a striking match?
Yeah, I mean, I'm training a lot with Catel Cubes. Is my striking coach, and every day he's sharpening my hands, elbow, knees, kicks. So it's something that I try to learn and try to do right. Just like jiu-jitsu, anything that I do, I try not just go out there and do something. I want to do it right because if you learn the right way since the beginning, it's easy just to get better and better. I don't want to like start with bad start in a bad way. Then I had to fix it ahead. So that's why I'm trying to learn. But it's something really different than what I did my whole life. So the striking definitely people say is easy, but it's not. The way that I wanna learn and the way I pick with myself, so I wanna be good at it. So I'm learning, but I'm getting better. So I have like the best coaches around me, not just striking, but grappling, wrestling, conditioning. So it's been great. Everything is being great. I'm learning every day. I'm getting better. So I hope I can go there and show everything that I'm training.
Hmm.
The last ones I just showed the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu. Maybe this one can show some of the striking as well.
Right, right. You mentioned that it's, it's difficult to learn striking, of course. I mean, how has the process been for you? Has it been frustrating? Has it been fun? I mean, what are your thoughts on this journey into the striking world so far?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting that you said frustrating was one thing that was in the beginning because like in the beginning I was like, man, I'm suck. I'm never gonna learn. But now it's been fun, you know. When you do the sparring and guys that I never really thought about like touching, I never could touch my opponents like doing the sparring session. Nowadays, I do much better. So this kind of evolution that make me really happy. So that's the sparring session is the training that I like the most. A lot of people don't like. A lot of people get nervous or anxious about it. But for me to do like a sparring is the same thing that when I go to the gym and shake hands and roll for the jiu-jitsu, you know. So that's how I see. That's how I see when I'm improving. That's how I see when I'm getting better, and I really like it. That's
Hmm.
how
Hmm.
it was frustrated at some point, but now it's being really fun.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. Other than a fight, I'm sure sparring is the best way to see what improvements you've made and what kind of growth you've made. Um,
Exactly.
One Championship doesn't have any heavyweight rankings right now, which is unfortunate. I'm sure they're coming eventually, but I think a lot of people consider you the number one contender in this division right now because you beat Jiwon Kang, who is also doing very well. I mean, where do you think you stand in this division right now?
I never really thought about that, so I'm just new in the game. I'm learning, so I know that wasn't something that uh, I really think about it. But of course, the organization put me like two big challenges. Now the third challenge, so I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna be. Oh no, I don't want to fight this guy. You know, like if I wanna be good at MMA, I have to fight the best. So I'm fighting everyone. I think Kane was like a big test, and he just showed like a couple weekends ago that he's like a knockout artist. And I'm just glad that I could get the results that I got. And I'm thinking I'm going the right path. Soon I'm gonna be where I want to be.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you're on the right path. And I know you're a patient guy, you'll take the fights that are offered to you, but if hypothetically you win this fight and One Championship were to offer you a title shot, would you take that or would you feel like it's too early?
Being honest, that's not up to me, you know, and that's gonna be a talk between the organization, my manager, my coaches. If they say, yeah, do it, I'll do it. If they say hold, I'll hold it. So I'm just like a soldier, you know, whatever, like I just follow orders and I'm new in the game. So if my manager, if my coach say, no, you're not red, so I know I'm not. If they say you're red, then I believe them. But it's not with two MMA fights that, okay, I'm red. I'm not the one that gonna say that, you know what I mean? It's gonna be between the organization and them.
Hmm. Well, one way or the other, your goal is obviously the champion. There's two
Yeah,
of
of
them at
course.
heavyweight right now. You've got Bhullar and Malakin. Let's start with Bhullar, talk a bit about him. He's been out of action for quite a while now. But I mean, how long do you think he should be able to sit out before One Championship starts thinking about taking his belt away?
And I think, yeah, he denied a couple fights, right? He didn't want to fight Malakin.
Hmm.
And I think that's something that's why they put the interim belt out there. And I think if keep it denying fight, maybe they will strip him off the belt, and we're gonna have just one belt. But I think that fight should happen like soon because if I'm not wrong, when they fought was February or something,
Hmm.
right? So it's about time for
Hmm.
them to fight again because I bet Anatoly wants to be really active and want to keep fighting. So I think it's not fair. If one guy wants to fight, the other one doesn't. It's There is like a certain time that you can do that, but at some point you have to fight or you have to give up the belt. You know what I mean? I think that's what's what's gonna happen. But I think they should fight soon.
Yeah, very well said. Chatri told my colleague Nick Atkin recently that sounds like the contract issues are sorted with Bhullar, so hopefully he'll be back soon. If that's what happens and he's the champion when you're ready to fight for the title, how do you think you match up with him?
Both of the guys are really like interesting style because they are both like kind of like high level wrestlers and good striking. So will be something. But Arjan has one loss, right, by submission, and you one of UFC. So he, maybe the grappling is some could be the way, to beat him. But he has, of course, just one loss, like I said. Anatoly is still undefeated, but no matter what, I think I'm always gonna believe in my jiu-jitsu, and that's what I'm gonna try to use with both of them.
Is there one guy that you kind of look at as a more fun matchup for you? One guy you'd prefer to fight?
Not really. It's hard to say. When the time comes to fight the belt, I don't know who's gonna be in the line. If it's gonna be them, it's gonna be somebody else. But I don't really think about like one specific guy. I never really think about it because I have the same mentality of the jiu-jitsu. In the bracket that is like 60 guys. I know I want to be in the final. I don't care who's gonna be in the other side of the bracket, but I'll be there for sure. That's how I still thinking in the MMA. That's what my mindset's still the same.
Right, that's a great attitude, I think. Now, you've kind of already answered this question. I assume it's safe to say that if you win this fight against Reug Reug and they decide, they want to do something else with the heavyweight title, you're willing to fight other contenders for a while.
Yeah, like I said, that's not up to me. I'll fight anyone, but I just had to get the green light from my coaches. And I remember sometimes they got you're not red. I got that sometimes, but the last two fights they said, yeah, you're red, let's go. And I was really red. So I believe in them. They watch me every day. They know better than me. They've been in the game for a while.
Hmm.
So whatever they say, I'm down. I fought like the toughest guys of the division. So you know what I mean. I can I know I can fight toe to toe with these guys. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to argue with you. You've beat everybody else you fought so far. There seems to be two kinds of fighters out there. I always say there's the fighters who just focus on themselves and don't really pay attention to the other contenders, and then there's the fighters who are paying close attention to everybody else in the division, watching their fights, studying them. Which kind are you? Are you watching these other guys, or are you just kind of doing your own thing?
I like to do my own thing since it's jiu-jitsu. Of course, I watch one time the fight, but I'm not the guy that keep fighting, keep watching. I just keep doing my own thing. I like to think about my game and not their game. I'm thinking about my game plan, not their game plan. Of course, I need to be aware of the the best weapons and their strategy. But at the end of the day, I want to think about my game. Not to worry more much about them and forget about what I have to do.
Hmm. Well, of the heavyweight contenders that you're aware of, is there anybody else out there that you'd be interested in fighting before a title shot if you get by Rug Rug?
Nah, not really. I think all the fights that they send me their names. I said yes. So Rogue Rogue was the first one. So they put the fight to happen again. It was interesting. So
Mhm.
yeah, I
Like,
I I don't care about like who it is or fight.
yeah, you're a matchmaker's dream. Like you said, you're a soldier. That's. I'm sure the matchmakers appreciate that. I wanted to talk to you about a few other things that have been happening in one championship recently. Namely, Andre Galvao just made his one championship debut. He's of course a guy you know well. What did you think of the performance he had in his debut in that grappling match with De Ridder?
It was good. I mean, really, was like much taller than him, and I knew it would be a good advantage. And plus, he's 10-0. He got two. He's like double champ, so I knew wouldn't be like a easy. easy fight for both of them because Andre is a legend of the grappling for sure. But for somebody to be 10-0 and have two belts in an organization like one championship, of course the guy must be really good. So I knew even like without being MMA, just grappling, I knew would be really hard because RD is like a really good black belt as well. But I think it was a good fight, and I think was really interesting to watch both of the guys going at it. So I really like it. Made me want to fight the grappling there too, against the guys and test myself in this format of fighting because it was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was going to ask you next. One Championship is suddenly promoting all these grappling matches, signing submission grapplers. Is this something that you're interested in doing while you're with One Championship?
Yeah, why not? That's the best. I think One Championship and Shatria is doing like they are doing a really amazing job with that. It's making the world like the whole world you see grapplers like kickboxers like Muay Thai fighters, people that sometimes they didn't have like the big stage to show their work, and One Championship is giving the great opportunity to everybody show a great opportunity. You see the kid, the little girl Daniela Kelly,
Yep.
she got 50K bonus. So I think for jiu-jitsu grappling girls, I think was the biggest paycheck that one of those
Yeah.
girls got. Not even ADCC champs get that much money. So it's good to see like how they are changing like people's lives. You know what I mean? And to be part of that, to be in the organization, to be like able to fight and to watch all that, for me it's amazing. And just I think is the change of the game, the next step for the grappling, for the MMA, all the sports. But to be there, to be being part of that, for me, it's amazing. So I feel like I always in the right spot. So One Championship is the place to be. It's making grappling great again. So let's
Nice.
do it.
Yeah, as a guy who comes from jujitsu and now does MMA, it's got to be nice for you to suddenly be in an organization where you can compete in both things, right? You have twice as many options all of a sudden.
Exactly, because like what I really like make me get tired of the jiu-jitsu is too much politics, too much drama, and too much like everybody want to fight, want you to fight, but nobody like want to make the effort. The organizations want you to fight for free pretty
Mhm.
much, so nobody want to pay the athlete. We are professionals, we are fighters. So I kind of got tired of the organizations out there. So being in One Championship, fighting MMA, and being able to fight grappling, something that I love. That's what I did my whole life at the same place in the same cage. For me it's something unbelievable. So for me it's kind of like a dream come true.
Yeah, I mean it's so cool to see what they're doing with the submission grappling stuff. Let me wrap things up here so you can get back to your day. Lots of exciting options for you on the table. If you get by Reug Reug, but of course you have to get by Reug Reug. How do you see this fight going?
It's gonna be for sure. Most of the times when you see two grapplers fighting, most of the times like they go at each other on the feet, right, striking. So I don't know, it's gonna be like I said, it's gonna be first time fighting a grappler, so should be interesting. But I hope I can carry the jiu-jitsu flag out there again and show my jiu-jitsu skills.
Yeah, you told me last time we spoke that a submission will always be the perfect outcome for you because you're a submission guy. But do you feel like there's a chance we might see a Buchecha head kick, a Buchecha right hook, or something in this fight?
Yeah, maybe a TKO, who knows, right? Ground and pound. So training for everything. So we can have something different in this fight for sure.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see it. Let me ask you one more question before I let you go. The year's just getting started. We're only in April. I mean, where do you want to be by the time this year is over?
Yeah, this year I want to at least like get 3 MMA fights, maybe some grappling fights between here now and then. But I want to get like 3 fights, and by the end of the year I want to get like with a couple more victories in my record. So working for that, no days off, and let's see, let's do it.